Another thing I can do before gluing up the entire carcass is to install the LED lighting, which attaches to the bottom of the top. So what I've got here is strip LED lighting. This stuff is like 5 millimeters wide. It comes on a roll, but roughly 16 feet. It's got an adhesive backing, and you can cut this stuff about every 1.5 to 2 inches to get it whatever length you want. So here's the setup. I have a power transformer that will plug into the wall behind the cabinet, and a wire that comes on up, attaches to a touch switch, which I'm going to attach to the back, and it'll sit right about like that. Imagine this is upside down. You'll reach your finger in and just touch that, and that will light the system up. And then there's a connector that goes between the round plug of the touch switch and the rectangular plugs for the actual LED. Then the LED strip comes with a wire that's about 15 inches or so long, 15, 18 inches. So I just ran that on up using these little adhesive clips to hold the wire. Got one here, one here, one here. And then I started gluing down, using the adhesive strip, the LED. Got to this point, made a cut, and then use one of these little connectors. You basically just open this thing up, stick it in the end of the LED strip, close it up, and made the bend using a little support here so that wire doesn't hang down below the apron here. And then another strip, another connector, and the final strip. And that should give me pretty good light. This little touch switch is also a dimmer, so let's see if I can make it work. You touch it once, the light comes on. You hold it, the light gets brighter. You hold it again, the light gets dimmer. Touch it again, the light goes off. So you can pretty much get anything you want on this. And the other nice thing about these LED light strips, if this is not enough light, but I think it will definitely be enough light, I use the same stuff under my cabinet by my kitchen sink, and it makes plenty of light. But you can always add more strips. If I decide this isn't enough light, I can just disconnect this connector here and run a strip down here and back up, whatever. And so pretty darn versatile. And then the touch switch dimmer here, I think this thing costs like $9, and it gives you on and off and a dimmer all in one nice little package. The whole setup really slick, I think. Now the feet on this cabinet they're a little bit unique. There's 1 foot on the narrow end, and there's 2 feet on the wide end, and they're actually coved solid pieces of cherry. So this is a great application for CNC in furniture building. I've got a billet here of 2-inch thick, 3.5 wide by 21 inches long, solid cherry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bore holes for the dowels that will attach these feet to the bottom. I'm also going to cut the cove, and then I'm going to flip it over and cut a round over in that. And because it's not a constant radius, it's not something that you could easily do with a cutter without making a cutter. But with the CNC, it's a pretty simple matter to cut. So we'll see how that works. Okay, well here's the legs off of the ShopBot. Here's the cove, here's the dowel holes, and a round over on the back. And of course I'll cut this into 3 sections to make 3 different legs. But first I've got to do a little handwork. CNC is not all just pushing a button. There's actually some thought and handwork that has to go into it. And one of the things about CNC is when the bit is cutting a cove, it's going back and forth, and every time it goes up one, it advances about 8% of the bit diameter. So I was using a 1/2 inch bit here. You can adjust that. Maybe I was 6%, but it's something like that. And then, you know, bumps over a little bit. But because this is almost like a cliff coming off here, when it bumps over a little bit, it actually goes down quite a bit in height. And so you get a roughness here. You can actually feel each of those step overs. They're called step overs. Whereas down here, where the bit pretty much doesn't fall off a cliff, you don't really feel the step overs too much. So I've got to come in here with a scraper. I've got kind of a French curve shaped scraper that I've sharpened up. It's good for this sort of thing. And all I got to really do is come in here and get rid of some of these ridges. If you've never used a scraper before, it's really good at this sort of thing. It also does not cause any tear out the way a plane can sometimes do. But of course for this you got to use a scraper with a curve. That's feeling pretty good. So yesterday I took a little motorcycle ride down to the glass shop in Warsaw. It's about 21 miles away. Nice day for a ride. And ordered a piece of 1/4 inch plate glass, non-tempered, with either a chamfered edge or a rounded edge. I gave them the choice based on what the capability is. And that'll fit inside as a mid-level shelf. And we're going to put some adjusters. We're going to put 7 positions for this shelf, so it can be adjusted a lot. I've got these little steel hangers, I guess you call them. They will fit into 1/4 inch holes, and the shelf will just lay on that. So I've taken my big T-square, I've marked off where the 7 holes have to be, and so let's go ahead and mark them and drill for them. Before I drill the holes, let me go ahead and do a little center punch. Make sure I get the point of the drill exactly where it needs to be. It's important that all 4 of these hangers be coplanar so the glass doesn't rock. All right, now we can go ahead and drill the holes. All right. So that's how the hanger fits in there. Very, very sturdy.
Rhode Island Sound at Sirius XM 60s on 6 only. A minute before the hour, we heard that I had a job, and when I showed up, they didn't even know who he was. They're like, that guy doesn't work for us. I was told I had a job by a guy who didn't even know the job.
Well, while the glue is setting on the top, I'm going to go ahead and do final fitting on the timbers. Now, I've cut a 1/4-inch hole in the center piece of each timber, and that's where the knob will go. It'll be attached with a screw so it can be removed so I can get this timber in and out. And I've marked these, and let's see. Here's the right timber. So I'm using some of this stuff called Slide Ease lubricant from Mohawk, and it's made for sliding wooden parts. And I'm putting some of these on the tongues so that this will slide a little easier inside the carcass. And it goes in like this. Okay. Go ahead and slide it. It goes about where it should go in depth. There we go. And I've got a little screw that I will put into the center here that will be a stop. And that'll stop these, you know, at the correct place. Okay, now I've got to attach the legs. So I've gone ahead and put dowels into the base and put glue on the dowels and the holes. And all I'll do is just tap these in place and then clamp them. And the real trick is to clamp this properly so that the piece bears evenly on the base. Okay, so I've got a block back here for the clamp to bear against the top so it doesn't damage it. And then I've just got to tilt the clamp in so that the pressure is on this back part on account of I've got an alignment with the dowel right like that. And if I'm not careful the way I clamp this, I could cock the whole leg forward a little bit. I don't want to do that. Okay, that looks like it's on there evenly, so we're in good shape.